Hello everyone. This is Mayur, founder and CEO of NomadGao. And today we have Monica with us. Monica is a dear friend. Uh, she's a social media content creator, and there is a lot to talk about her. She was an investment banker before getting into this, but then she followed her heart, followed her passion for travel, and now she does adventure travel blogging, storytelling, building a community of digital nomads or people who want to live this lifestyle. Uh, in past 2 years, Monica has lived in 30 plus cities, 12 plus countries. She recently was a part of Remote Year where she spent 12 months in 12 different countries, uh, also creating content for Remote Year and uh, their partners. So I'm really excited to hear about managing social media for hospitality businesses. And by the way, Monica is also managing social media for NomadGov lately. So you can see me or Anisa, uh, you know, dancing and talking in front of camera, and all the credit goes to Monica. So, Monica, off to you.
Alright. Thank you so much, Mayur. Hi, everybody. I see that there are a couple of people in the audience. I wish I could see your faces as well, but thank you so much for spending time and coming here on a Wednesday evening to learn about social media into hospitality spaces. So, if you're anybody who runs a hospitality business, a cafe, um, a space where community can actually thrive, then this webinar is for you. And once again, thank you so much, Mayur. It's been amazing working with you for the past few weeks, and we're looking forward to so much more. Before I start, I'd like to just tell you that this is a value pack session, of course, and we'll look at tips and tricks on managing social media for hospitality spaces. But there's also a special announcement at the end of the webinar for which I'd like you to stay tuned, and I'll pass on the mic to Mayur back to make that announcement. And I look forward to having that surprise and experience driven adventure for you at the end. All right. So I'm going to share my entire screen and just give me a thumbs up if you can actually view my screen. So that would be helpful. Is it visible, Mayur?
Yes, Monica. Yes.
Okay, great. So, sorry, just checking in that I would not be able to hear responses from the community. Is that so in the session here? And they would be able to reply on chat. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. Uh,
Okay.
this is honestly the first time when we are using Riverside for this. Uh, so I'm not too sure, but let me see. Even I cannot see the audience, but
Sure.
hopefully we will be able to. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So I was hoping that maybe they could reply in the chat and then we can get forward with that. So awesome, great. No worries. Hi. Okay, so this is the starting point of it. We're looking at social media for hospitality spaces, and so that you can create memorable stays with personalized community experiences for the brand that you run. Now, I was hoping that I could get to know your names, where you're from, and what you're looking forward from this workshop before I introduce myself. And what does community really mean to you? I'll take a minute for that so that I understand who is in the audience. If you could just drop it down in the chat, that would be super helpful. So it helps me understand, who I'm speaking to. Do we have responses here? I'll take a minute for that. So, where you're from, what's your name, what are you looking forward to in this session, and if somebody can help me on what the responses, that would be super helpful. All right. Do we have responses coming in? Oh, okay. I can see the chat here. All right, is that so? So what's your name? Oh, okay, great. Hi, Slook, Sapna, Ronak, remote marketing consultant from Hyderabad, currently in Thailand. That's great. I'm based out of Hyderabad too currently. Sorry, I was just about to see I'm just able to view the chat. So thank you so much for joining in, everybody. Slok Sapna, that's amazing, guys. So, all right. Would you like to tell me if you're running a hospitality brand currently, or you're looking for a community space driven, and what you're looking forward from this workshop? All right. All right. I think I would just move forward and push it here. So I think Mayur did introduce me pretty well. So I'm not going to go over this boring stuff again. But what I can just tell you is that you're in good hands. And I've worked with over 170 brands in the past 2 years, helping them give a voice and a unique style with high engagement on social media. So if you're here to learn how to build stories, how to build your own personal brand on social media, or build a hospitality space for your current brand that you're running, then this is the right place for you. All right. So, how do we actually get into bifurcation? And whenever you're looking at, your social media page, your Instagram, your YouTube, LinkedIn, whenever you're starting off something like that, how do we actually define who we're working for, which is basically your target audience? So, I think the first few steps on understanding is who you're catering to. Can you really define their psychometrics and pain points? And what problem are you solving for them? So, for example, if it is a hostel run space or a community led space, then they would be catering to, say, solo backpackers, couples who probably recently got married, people who travel together, women friendships. Those are kind of target audience that you would be defining if you're running a space like that. If you're a cafe owner, then it would be different for you, where you're probably serving Himachali food, specifically Sidhu, or certain specific food from your own uh, own style, which will actually cater to your audience and people who actually visit you. So can you really, these are few examples that I put across, but can you really define the exact target audience that you're catering to, and what are their pain points? What are you helping solve for them? So if somebody is coming to you for food, why are they coming back to you again? Like, there's a northeastern cafe here in Hyderabad which I keep going back to because they make some really good laughing, right? Because I like the taste of that. So, like, if you can really define where these people come from, how they actually treat their lifestyle, what they do into their day-to-day lives, then you would be able to understand your target audience really well. So, a good way to define that and to provide a solution and answer the third question of what problem you're solving for them is actually answering this question of X is for you if you want dash results. So, this can also be applicable if you're a freelancer, or you're a service based business as well. So this applies to everybody, and you need to show that you have the answer to the requirements very, very clearly. So write very clear, concise bullet points that actually speak to the results that you deliver. With that, if I give out an example, for Nomad Cow. Nomad Cow is a community hospitality space that offers what? So, one, two, three. We listed down three bullet points. It has the comfort of hotel rooms, it has personalized community experiences, productivity spaces to support remote work. So, within these three bullet points, I've very clearly understood what exactly would I be offered if I'm coming to stay at Nomad Cow. So, what would be your page, or what would be your hotel service or hospitality service? That is basically what are the top three things that you're offering to your target audience, and what is the pain point that you're solving for them? Do you have a boutique property? Do you have a wellness property? And when they're coming into your space, do you have an Ayurvedic spa, or like can you treat into a specific segment or a specific illness? Then that would be your main offering. And if you're a freelancer as well, that is also something that you should look into, because this makes your offer very, very clear and helps you pitch to your potential clients as well. Um, the second part is content ideas as per target bifurcation. So once you've identified your target audience, so it can be one, it can be into two, three segments as well. So for example, for Nomad Gao, we have digital nomads or aspiring digital nomads, remote workers, hybrid workers, but then we also also cater to company retreats. We also work with you know basically small group of small startup of companies with probably 30 people who can actually come and host retreats at Nomad Gao. And then the third one would be obviously a community of solo travelers, couple travelers who want to have a community experience and live in the mountains of Tharakot or Goa. So just taking an example out there where you can see that we already have very clear three segments of bifurcation of audience. And can you really pick out so for example, if you're looking at digital nomads as the first category, what are the top 10 ideas that you can actually build for these specific audience? Now, how do you figure out that? So once you've identified your top three buckets of target bifurcation, to figure out content ideas, you can pick up the top 10 pages into your niche globally. So pick out digital nomads, spaces offering accommodations for digital nomads. Can we pick out top 10 spaces into this area globally, analyze their content and their top performing content, and this gives you a list of ideas and implement them into your own style. By this, I'm not asking you to, of course, copy content, but of course, get inspired and cater that and tweak that to your own story, to your own offerings, and see what is the content style that is actually working for them. Because once you do an industry analysis or competitor analysis, that's when you understand that, okay, this is what they're doing better, and this is how I can actually apply it to my own system. Um, and then you basically divide them into educational, storytelling, aesthetic, and lead generation driven content. By educational, I mean this would be a piece of content which would be more shareable, which is more savable. And why would you actually share or save a particular piece of content? You would save it because you feel that information is something that you would look back to later. You would share that piece of content because it makes you look cool, right, in front of your friends. That's one reason why you would actually share that piece of content, or you feel that that information is applicable to that particular friend of mine. So making sure that, those pieces of content have a specific meaning, have a specific motive behind it, and see that, if it is educational, then you create information or your script according to that. If it is storytelling, then you can speak as a founder story. You can come across and say stories of the people who stayed with you, or the people who come to your cafe, or the people who come to your co-working space, or your hospitality space. um, Aesthetic content is when you actually curate different b-rolls and create a very beautifully, like a music video on Instagram. So when we engage, the reason that we engage with such content, because it's aesthetically pleasing, it's visually very appealing to the eyes, and we feel like, oh, I really want to stay at a place like that. So that's where aesthetic content really, really works for hospitality spaces. It is one of the primary probably one of the primary pieces of content that you should be curating for your property if you're running an Airbnb or hospitality space. The second one is lead generation driven content, where you can actually automate other systems of softwares like ManyChat, or any other DM automated businesses, which you say that, okay, this is your CTA. This is something that works very well on Instagram now, where you ask people to comment on a specific reel for a booking link, or I will send you across these outfits or this link to this particular booking, and kind of send that particular link, or send the particular product that you want to sell right into your DM. So ManyChat is a great tool for that. And it's always, of course, very important to educate, engage, and entertain. If there's no entertainment in your content, then people would not probably watch as much. So either you entertain them with visual hooks, with verbal hooks, or with, of course, information, right? um, what is good content? So when we talk about great content on Instagram, on socials, what are we looking at? It's very important that the way the content is shot is where the game actually changes. So specifically for hospitality spaces or for any other creator as well, we need to make sure that the content is well lit, right? If it's too dark, you're just going to scroll past amongst all the noise that's happening on social media. So it should be well lit. There should be some things that you can ensure for a well lit space is that one, of course, there's sunlight, but you can basically take a huge piece of window to be your light spot. So if you're filming in front of a huge piece, a big window, that itself is like, that itself gives you great lit content. I mean, great lit video quality. The other thing is to use artificial lighting. So one thing that a lot of people do for YouTube videos is they create side lighting, which is basically one light over here, and then they would actually put a light at the back. So which is basically in their background to make it very balanced, and then more light. So you would actually try this out probably sometime. That if you have a tiny light or a tiny lamp at the background of yours, then the video looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing, and then the concentration of the viewer does not really go from your face. So if you're trying to film long form video content, then this is something that you should try to do. Or if you're filming across a short form reel as well, where you don't want the audience to actually navigate from your face a lot or navigate from the main subject a lot, then this is something that you should do. Shot peacefully and slowly. Now, the reason why I say this is because when the video is shaky or when it is a little like basically not balanced and it's moving around, usually people don't tend to watch that video. Like, even if you go to your gallery and you see that, oh, nobody filmed this piece of me dancing properly, then you actually just delete up that video. So you need to make sure that the camera movement is very smooth whenever you shoot a b-roll of sorts, specifically for properties. Because like when you're taking room shots or when you're taking a buffet breakfast spread or a spa that you have properly in the property, then it needs to be sure, you need to make sure that the camera movement is very, very smooth. If you're speaking on camera, then your audio quality should be on point. I would say that this is far more important than even your aesthetically shot videos. Like your audio quality should be probably the first pointer even before your video quality, because if you hear echoes or if you hear that the quality is not great, then you would tend to actually scroll past it as well. Your backgrounds are well curated. That's an example that I gave you before. That this is a system that you can probably try out and maybe even when you're filming like a room, you would want to like probably light the room into different spaces. Um, there's also a technique which like Hygge, like Denmark people do a lot. Like they create small spaces of light in different parts of the room to make it more aesthetically pleasing. So when you're trying to film your property, or say for example your co-working space or your cafe, then make sure that there are different points of light where it looks a little more well curated. Make sure that it's personalized and the content is yours. This is very, very important. If you're hiring somebody to do it, or if you're engaging into influencer marketing, make sure that whenever you're engaging into an activity like that, you discuss it with the influencer, you discuss it with the person you're hiring, that the content needs to be personalized and it should be basically curated as per your own style. That's very, very important, because when you basically copy paste content, then it becomes again not your content, right? Because what we're looking at is a more personalized feed, a more really like, when the story is yours, then it actually sells better because there's a lot more relatability factor into it as well. And people relate to other people relate to other stories, people relate to is this really for me? So that's why it's very important to personalize your content as per your feed and as per your offerings. Yeah. All right. Different content ideas for hospitality spaces. This can be applied again to a variety of hospitality spaces as well. This is something that we've done for Nomad Gao recently as well, which is basically founder's story. When a person comes on camera, and I understand that not everybody is comfortable speaking on camera, but this is something that I highly recommend basically any business to do. Basically, when a founder comes or a person comes and humanizes your brand, it sells a lot more. If you shoot across a property and say, okay, it's an empty property, I'm sure that content would work well, but it would work a lot more better if there's a person opening the door for you, or if there's a person walking to the swimming pool, or if there's a person actually sitting in the sauna and actually experiencing the sauna. So, uh, coming across on camera and sharing the story of why you created what you created, who is it for, why am I really doing this as a founder, what do I really believe in, makes a lot more impactful story, and your audience actually relates to you a lot more. It's true that people again would relate to people, and the more real you keep your story, the more you tell about your progress on Instagram or social media, it's going to make it a lot more better. um, because there was actually a study that said that people actually relate to failures a lot more than success, because a lot more people fail, right? If you talk about your struggles, your pain points, you talk about the pain points that you're solving for them in a way that it was a pain point for you, it will sell better. So it becomes a lot more relatable and say that, oh, okay, yeah, that's something that I also faced. So it's always recommended that you share your own story. um, Aesthetic edits showing your space, I think this is something that is spoken about. How can you actually humanize your brand? So getting in people, or say actors, or I mean, by actors I mean people who actually probably live in your space, or volunteer, or you hire somebody to do it. When you include people into your space, it becomes a lot more real, it becomes more experiential, and people can actually feel that they would be feeling this certain way, or they would be looking this certain way when they are at your space. Testimonials matter a lot as well, because then it brings out, I actually underestimated the power of testimonials for a very, very long time. Until when I joined, like when I was trying to join a group trip, and I was like, oh, okay, if there's a lawyer who did this, or if there's a digital marketer who did this, then maybe I can do it too. So testimonials matter a lot. It puts across again a lot more character to your personal brand. It puts in a lot of validation to your personal brand as well, that if that's somebody who can do it, then I can do it too. A day in my life is a great example. So maybe again, if you have a cafe, or if you have say a restaurant that you're running, then you can put across like day in my life as a chef, or day in my life as a bakery owner, or I create art and this is what a day in my life looks like. Today I was running a business and I solved this problem for a client, and this was the day in my life. So actually vlogging across problems that you have solved, how your day actually looks like, and what it would look like for the other person if they were into your space. Another thing is also, if you can, I think this is the next point as well, where behind the scenes of building as well work a lot. If you put across that, say for example, if you're having a renovation at your space happening, right, at wherever space, your home or your Airbnb or your hospitality space, if the renovation is happening, you please ensure that those renovation photos or those renovation videos are taken, because it helps you define the process of where you were and where it actually came through. So filming behind the scenes of how it looked like earlier and how much effort you actually put across to make this happen and give that service to your client is 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 usually something that is commendable, like is usually appreciated by your audience a lot on Instagram, because they see that how much work they've put in, and there's a lot of hard work to actually come across this entire journey of yours. Showing them that this is for you. So I'll come to this part a little bit into detail on the hooks part, but showing them that this is a solution exactly for you. That again relates back to your target audience. That, say, we were taking the example of digital nomads, so telling them that Nomad Gao is definitely a space for digital nomads. because we can support remote work, we have a co-working space, we have a community, we have personalized community experiences, we have comfortable service, and then you have, bigger rooms like hotels. Food is served to you. You have great treks around. You have a more balanced lifestyle, and that's why, because we have all of this, this is for you if you're a digital nomad or a remote worker. So telling them that, these are all the things that we can actually offer for you, to make it like a curated package, and this is why you should actually come here, is actually a great content piece. All right, I'm going to pause on this slide a little bit and go back to the audience. So if there's something that anybody wants to say, how's it going? Am I moving too fast, or are you able to take a grasp of it? Oh, am I not audible? Was
No,
it
no,
so?
you are, Monica. It's going good. Lots of informative stuff there. I'm sure there are a lot of hospitality business owners or social media marketers out there right now who are hearing this and taking some insights. So if anyone has any question, just put the questions in the chat. Else, Monica can continue uh, with her presentation.
Okay. So we're speaking to architects, construction industry, nomadic career, freelancing. Great. Anybody actually running a hospitality business here? Is that something people are doing? So I can tweak around my examples. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I'll go back to sharing my screen and try to include a few more examples for freelancers, probably. Because every freelancer also needs a personal brand. Okay, so like if you're a freelancer and not on social media or LinkedIn, it's not necessary that you create just video content, but it's important that you actually create content on some kind of a platform. So LinkedIn is also great, Medium is great. So all of these platforms also work really well. So yeah, coming back to hooks and engagement tactics, right? So I think this is very important. We all know that if there's so much noise, right, in the social media space, there's so many people on social media, but what brings your audience actually to you is very important in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the video. If they're not watching your video in the first 2 seconds, it really doesn't matter. They're just scrolling past the entire video. So there has to be some kind of a hook which actually makes them stop to your video and understand that, okay, this is why I actually stuck by the video. Then they later share it, save it, or like it is, or comment on it, is a different story, but they still have to pause on the video and actually look at the entire video, watch the entire video. So how can you actually do this? There are different hooks, right? There's a visual hook, a verbal hook, and a story hook. These are all the ones that are actually trending currently. So if I just look across, I've put across few examples, and just let me know, give me a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen when I go across here. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, is it visible? Mayur, maybe you can like give me a confirmation verbally if this is visible. Sorry, I can't
Yes,
actually.
yes,
Okay,
it is. It
sorry.
is.
Okay, so this is an example for a cabin in Norway, and I'm just going to probably refresh this and show it to you from the start. I'm currently not playing the audio, but So the reason why this is a good video is one because it shows the highlight of the property first, right? Which is the jacuzzi, and then it runs across, and there's a human element into it. There's somebody who's actually experiencing the property, and then it's a different angle of the same thing. This is a room shot which is well lit, and then comes across a drone shot. So I would say the hero shot of the property is actually here first. If I come across to another example, sorry, I have to open this again. So you see that there was a lot of human element, and then in between there was no human element. But imagine it just being a property video, right? It would it would be a little bland unless until you have a great text hook over here. So it's very important that that is catered to, sorry, properly into your you know uh, video there. And then this one is the last example. So this shot is really great, right, into this, which is basically a rotating shot that actually comes across. So let's watch that again. What is important to you? So if you look at this shot, this is a great shot because it's a revolving shot into the space, and it's a very unique shot. Not a lot of people actually do this. And the first two tags initially into the, like, this does not have a humanized element, but then it makes it very clear that this property is for two people with a romantic getaway on a lake. So it kind of very clearly states that this is, if you're a couple, then this is where you should come to have a romantic getaway. Again, this is something that works a lot for the hospitality space, kind of stitching your footage together and specifying very clearly that if you are this person, then you need to come here. Another example of verbal hooks. I think this is one of my favorite videos from a creator, if you can hear it. Bachelorette. So this is about girls having actually a bachelor trip, and it's very well done. It's got to have a pool. It needs to be 30 minutes from the airport. The girls need to be fed well. It's got to have a living room where you all can cry after getting drunk. Have a space that you can use for photos. Beds have to be big enough for everyone to chill together. The washrooms need to be bigger than your dreams. And then repeat it again next year. So you see, like, it's a very simple short video, but I hope the audio was more audible to you. But it's a very simple short video into different spaces of the property, but humanized so well, and giving them a direction that, okay, if you want to have a lazy bachelorette or a great bachelorette, then this is the property that you need to come to. So I think this is a great hook for stitching across your property. And other negative hooks also work really well, that you don't need X to actually get Y. You might hate me for saying this, but you're not going to the right properties, or you're not going to the right cafes. You need to come here. So giving them across a few negative hooks also work really well on social media. The other ones are story hooks, and I'll come across this one. Hold me in the darkness, hold me till it hurts as you tell me that I'm alright, show me where the light shines through. And then giving them a CTA in the end also, right? Like, they're saying that you need to share this with somebody that you want to actually experience this with. So that is also a great CTA. And then just the last video that I'd like to show you is this one. Another December, but this time I'm ending it in peace and with no distractions.
For the next 2 nights, our phones are going to be on airplane mode. And it's a no notifications weekend. The agenda is to just relax in this massive 3 BHK in North Goa, be away from the world, just the two of us, reflect on our 2024, and try to process all our difficult feelings together. I would really like some long meals, uninterrupted batein, and 2 cups of coffee in the mornings. It would also be nice to sit together and set individual and couple goals for 2025 and do a bit of planning for how the next year is going to look like. And you know what? I don't mind some Harry Potter either. I'm so glad we did this. I purposely chose Oyo because these company service villas take care of literally everything. Easy check in, cleaning, food. I knew we won't have to worry about anything. And all we had to do was go offline and enjoy. I know it's been a tough year, but I hope before it ends, you're also able to unwind, reflect, and enter 2025 with a positive headspace, like we were able to at this gorgeous Dan Center property available on the Oyo app.
So, this I think is a great example for actually building a story and curating in the end that this is where you need to stay, right? This can be used for, again, freelancers, used for different spaces, cafes, restaurants, wellness spaces, retreats as well. Seeing that, oh, this is something that I was looking to do. Um, this space actually helped me to do it, and this is why you should go here. So stitching a story together with a lot of struggles, right? So like they mentioned struggles, mentioned individual struggles, they mentioned that they could provide food, they have a TV space, and it was done so organically, right? So it was done very, very organically, saying that uh, this is what we were dealing with, and nobody mentioned that, oh, they also have this and they also have this, but then very nicely done together in a story format. So there's also something that you can follow, and it works really well. Storytelling works really, really well these days on Instagram. It is something that people have been trying, and a good story always sells. The other parts of it are basically to use all the kinds of social features that you have on your platform. So for Instagram, you go live, use stickers, questions, polls, forms. If there are any webinars that you need to do, all of them actually work. It helps you create a lot more engagement for your platform, and don't make it very adsy. Like nobody actually wants to watch ads, and the reason why I'm telling you all of these hooks is that you don't create an ad format for your property or your hospitality space. If you try to create a story or a visual or a verbal hook, it would sell much better. And every hotel or every Hyatt or every Radisson, it would be posting across a hero drone shot and then going across over there. That's always there in it, or it would seem very adsy. So make sure that it's more personalized. You can also reach out to influencers. Influencer marketing really works if you're reaching out to the right people and asking them to curate content for you. You can also create a community, of course, with sending them out newsletters, creating a community on WhatsApp. There are other tools like Nas.io, communities, TopMate. There are so many other platforms where you can actually engage with your audience directly and send them, what your offer is, what you do as a freelancer or a founder, and pitch them your own, personalized offer. And the other important pointers, again, for a hospitality space, is that the pointers that I've mentioned here is interior design shots, a few clips maybe from someone's breakfast, doing yoga somewhere in the property, a few shots of the landscape or the city surrounding your property. These are just listicles of like different shots that you can do. In one single reel, your viewers should actually know who your property is for, what your property offers, and what a stay at your property might actually look like. So that's humanizing your content and having a clear CTA to actually show the viewers that this is where you can actually book it from. Explain what the viewer is looking at with screen on text. You can mention this into the caption, show variety, show multiple areas of your property or your space or you working, showing BTS of the content, and making sure that you have highlights of each of these content into your reel as well. So if you're specifically a hospitality owner, then you can add in like different highlights like amenities, features, units, rooms, things like that, different highlights. So then your audience can directly go into those highlights, and it makes it a lot more easier for them to actually look out, okay, this is what the space would look like. And try to eliminate any landscape posts. You can sprinkle them with other posts here and there, but if ideally vertical formats would obviously work a lot better. You can in between like maybe do a landscape video to just break the routine uh, of your feed, but generally vertical works the best. All right, that's about it. And of course, we'll host a Q&A session here. But in case if you're looking to connect with me, my Instagram is Boots of a Hitchhiker. And on LinkedIn, I go with the name Monica. You can always book a call. I'll leave the link of it in the comment below, of course, after answering your questions. And if you are looking for personalized social media spaces, then you can always reach out and DM and we can hop on a call. With that, um, we end. Sorry, I'm just going to stop sharing and go back to the space here. And yeah, I'll take up questions now if anybody has any. And I hope this was helpful. You can always give feedbacks, put in questions, and I'm happy to answer.
So personally, for me, this was great. Uh, you know, I've been working with you for past few weeks, so a lot of these things we have discussed before. Uh, but I think the challenge with a lot of hospitality people is to showcase the experience on social media, right?
Yeah.
Like your potential customers should be able to just get it by looking at your social media, like
True.
and I have struggled marketing Nomadgaon in that way for years, right? Because everything happens so differently here that uh, we need to take extra efforts to let people know that okay, this is what it is and
Yeah.
all of that. And I think all these tips that we have been discussing and you shared today
Yeah.
are pretty helpful in showcasing the experience side
Right.
of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to thank you so much for that, and happy to actually answer any other questions as well. There's another special announcement, guys, so I'll just stay tuned. If you have any questions, please let us know. I'm dropping in the link because somebody said that it was not working. Does meme marketing really work? That's a great question. I was actually speaking to somebody who was looking into meme marketing a lot and like aggressively posting memes for their hospitality space. Actually, it was a wellness based brand, and I would say yes and no. It has to be like really smart meme based marketing, right? Because um, personally, I've not recommended it to my founders, but I would still say yes because memes actually work a lot. It has to organically be integrated, like it should organically have your brand presence as well. Can you smartly actually showcase your brand into that meme? Then yes, please go ahead and do that. I think it should work really well. Any other questions, guys? Sorry, I'm just pulling across the link as well. I'm not sure why it's not working. Um, I think this link should work, guys. If you could, I just dropped it again in the comments. Yeah, I think it's working for me. So it should work for you as well. In case you're still finding an issue, you can always drop in a message on my Instagram, and I will make sure that I reply. You're most welcome, Sangram. All right. I think that's about it. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you coming down and, being here and learning from this session. I hope that it was valuable. It was helpful for you in whatever space that you are in. I know we focus more on, of course, hospitality spaces, but we can always do more of these specific to, the category that you're in. If you want to hear into different categories, just put it over Nomad Girls community chat, and we can definitely do those and pick those up. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, I'll wrap up yapping across this and pass it on to Mayur for the special announcement. And yeah, over to you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Monica, for all the insights and for all the time. It was very valuable. Um, so, before I make the special announcement, I would like to ask a question to audience. Uh, has anyone taken vacations, like long vacations, before, um, either during COVID or after that? Uh, please put your response in the chat. Uh, Wow, Sapna has traveled a month in the Northeast. That's great. How was the experience? Yes, Monica, that's a humble brag. Yeah, Monica has traveled for a year with remote year, and I think that deserves a separate session on your experience traveling as a solo Indian woman traveler, uh, and then overcoming all the challenges and all of that. Um, so great. Mansi has spent 5 months in Himachal. I'm in Himachal right now wearing a thick jacket. Great. Um, so for past 5 years, I've been pretty much in between Goa and Himachal and partly in Vietnam, building Nomad Gaon. But I am starting to travel again. Uh, and I realized that I travel for people, and traveling with like-minded people is the way I travel. So we are starting vacations, starting with Thailand in April, uh, Vietnam in June, uh, Indonesia in August, and Malaysia in October. And these are designed for people who have either taken vacations within India but have not ventured abroad for the, you know, fear of unknown or for whatever reasons, or for those who really want to step up, who are curious about the digital nomad lifestyle and want to get started with it. So these are going to be 2 week vacations, extended weekend goes for some adventures. So really looking forward to have some of you there. I am dropping the link of it uh, here in the chat. So nice, Shlok. I've just sent a link. Uh, I hope you got it. Uh, so Shlok has not traveled like a nomad, but have met people, uh, and now planning to. Um, you can do it yourself. That's a different adventure. But what we have seen is doing it with the community sort of takes away, uh, sharpens your learning curve to get into digital nomading and all. But whichever way you do it, all the best to all your travels, and keep following the dreams. Um, and yeah, hope to see you on the trip.
Awesome. I think it's super nice, Mayur, just to add on. I've done this for almost 2 years now, and it actually makes a lot of difference to your productivity and adventures, and putting seeing the world in a very different way. Because of course you can work from a city like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Himachal, all of you have kind of had a taste of it. but doing it with a lot more people just adds in lot of value and a different perspective to life. It's almost like a big valuable investment in yourself, and it's I would highly vouch and encourage you to try this experience. And yeah, thanks guys, this is super helpful, and I'm excited for your launch, Mayur. This should be very, very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope to have you on the trip also.
Yes.
I think you have spent quite a bit of time in Southeast Asia as well. So
Yeah,
why
you're
not?
also taking the first one to Chiang Mai and Pai, which is definitely one of my favorite locations. So I'm going to attempt actually being there, and it should be amazing. It's hands down, like without a thought, Chiang Mai and Pai is like OG destinations. So it should be
Yeah.
amazing.
And in June, Hoi An follows. So that's
Perfect.
it. Yeah. Great. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, everyone. Uh, Looking forward to more sessions, more informative sessions. Stay active in the community, ask questions. People are very helpful there. Um, and yeah, let's make India a digital nomad nation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.